Because sometimes silence is kinder than people. There are nights when she talks to the moon. Not out loud, not always. Sometimes it's a whisper tucked between the sighs of the wind. A thought pressed into the stillness like a fingerprint on glass. Other times, it's a trembling confession, the kind of truth that can't survive daylight. She sits by her window, knees drawn to her chest, wrapped in the kind of quiet that feels both heavy and holy. The world outside sleeps, but her mind does not. It spins, restless, relentless, when replaying words that were said too harshly or not said at all. It's strange, she thinks, how silence can hurt when it's from people, but heal when it's from the moon. The moon never interrupts. It never judges, never turns away. It doesn't tell her to cheer up or move on. It listens. It just is. Constant, patient, soft. Even on the nights when clouds blur its face, she knows it's there. A reminder that even in darkness, something gentle can still exist. She's always found comfort in distant things. The hum of faraway trains, the static of late-night radio, the shimmer of stars that are probably long dead by now. Maybe that's why she trusts the moon. It's far enough not to hurt her, but close enough to hear her if she whispers. And whisper she does, about the weight she carries in her chest, the ache she can't quite name, about friendships that faded like old ink, about love that came dressed as warmth but left as winter, about the exhaustion of always pretending she's fine. The moon never tells her she's being dramatic. It doesn't roll its eyes. It simply glows, a silent witness to everything she cannot say to anyone else. She wonders sometimes if the moon ever grows tired of hearing so many secrets, if all the lonely hearts spilling their stories into the night ever make it weep. But then she smiles, because maybe the moon understands loneliness better than anyone. It has circled the earth for billions of years, close enough to see everything, yet forever alone in its orbit. Maybe that's why it shines, not because it has light of its own, but because it borrows it, reflects it. The way she borrows courage from the stillness, strength from the night. Sometimes she thinks the moon is a mirror. When she looks at it, she sees herself. Quiet, constant, scarred, still trying to glow despite everything that's gone dim. And when she finally speaks, it's not always about pain. Some nights she thanks the moon for staying, for being there when no one else is, for reminding her that solitude isn't the same as emptiness. That silence can hold love too, just in a quieter form. The world tells her that healing happens in noise, in laughter, conversation, connection. But she's learned that some wounds need gentler medicine. That sometimes you heal not by speaking, but by being understood without words. The night has changed, but the same moon still hangs in the sky, not quite as bright as before, a little hazy, as if someone brushed a touch of sadness across its edge. She's sitting by the window again. A cup of tea rests in her hands, long gone cold. The only light in the room is from the moon, a soft silver that turns everything into a dream. Tonight she doesn't talk to the moon. Tonight she listens. Because maybe, just maybe, the moon has something to say. The curtain sways gently with the wind, and she imagines the moon whispering, "You are not alone. You are just someone who feels deeply, too deeply for this loud world." She smiles faintly. "Feeling hurts," she murmurs. "That's life," the moon seems to reply. "Those who feel live. The rest just pass by like shadows chasing light." For a while she wonders, does the moon ever remember its past? Does it miss its full self? On the nights it disappears into darkness, the moon stays silent. But in that silence, she hears the answer. Maybe memories belong to everyone, but only a few learn to turn them into light. The rest drown in them and forget who they are. Something shifts inside her. A faint glow, quiet but real. Maybe it isn't from the moon. Maybe it's her own. She begins to understand. Listening to the moon. was always a way of listening to herself. Every whisper she sent into the night was really a conversation with her own soul. So she makes herself a promise. The next time the world gets too loud, she won't run away from the noise. She'll stay still and let silence speak for her. She knows people will change, time will pass, hearts will break again. But she isn't afraid anymore, because now she knows, even after breaking, the moon still shines, the night deepens, the stars fade into the horizon. She looks at the moon one last time, a soft gratitude in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispers, "for hearing me when no one else did, for understanding my quiet, for reminding me that light never disappears. It just hides for a while." The moon glows gently in reply, and peace settles over her like a blanket. It's the kind of peace that doesn't need words, the kind that feels like home. She sets down her empty cup, closes her eyes, and for the first time in a long while, sleep comes to her, softly, easily, as if it had been waiting all along. Outside, the air hums with calm. The moon is still listening, and silence no longer feels like loneliness, but like a prayer.